Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Unveiled with Z. And today's topic is the second chakra called the Sacral Chakra, just a quick recap on how far we've come. Our first episode was regarding the root chakra, where we learned about deposits from the nervous system that have been stored in our body at a time when our minds were not developed enough to uncode and store, and therefore then was absorbed into the nervous system and then gets deposited to the body at adulthood as a form of feeling. This is where we form the flight, fight, or freeze automatic reactions. Right, that was the first episode, which was the root chakra. I actually noticed today I was talking to my mom about a few frustrations that I'm having. Adulting every day, 24/7, and I was just saying I actually need a break. Isn't there a pause button that we can press? It's too much to expect one to be an adult every day, 24/7, and and I actually, in that conversation, realized that I might be stuck in the flight automatic reaction, because with me, I want to rip off the bandage. Okay, let's do it now and let's get it over with. If it's getting too much for me, I want to leave. When a relationship, when I want to leave when it's getting too difficult for me. It's just that I suppose maybe then the second chakra kind of kicks in a bit, like the sacral one, that says, but you want it, so you should be able to have it, which is the theme of the second chakra, which is the sacral chakra. It's I want it and I should be able to have it. And the first chakra is fight, flight, or freeze, right? And the first one is where you develop your foundation based on the patterns that you have absorbed from infancy through childhood that blocks your root chakra. And forces you into automatic responses that are subconscious, that you actually also have no recollection of. It talks about how valid fears are and how they should be counted as something that has already happened, whether seen or unseen. Right, you want to remind yourself, maybe just go back again a little to the first episode. And then our next episode was the parenting, which was very interesting. I chose to do that one after the root chakra because I thought they go hand in hand. What responsible parenting should be, and how parents should practice democratic parenting in the household, and why I thought those were interlinked, like the root chakra and parenting, is because I felt it's a direct link. As an adult, you should have healed the inner child to be able to be the adult that is required of you, or the best adult you can be for your kids. And that's why I did the parenting one, which was a step workshop that I attended at Rahima Musa. You can revisit that episode too. And today we are talking about the sacral chakra, which is the second chakra. And this one talks about I want it and I should be able to get it. So it directly feeds from the root chakra, which is the flight, freeze, or fight automatic reactions. This one is I want it and I should be able to get it. This is the feel good emotions chakra that makes us do, or I believe I can fly type of things. This is the one that says, well, the sky is the limit and I am above the sky, when of course it is healthy. Right? I just want to just give a brief definition of what they say in the book is the sacral chakra. and where it is situated. Mnyakimkile sana. Can't just read without the binoculars. So this one says, right? The sacral chakra is located just above the root chakra in the sacrum. It's the second chakra, or the fire that animates us. It is our drive, the fuel we need to lift us off our first chakra foundation and move us to take action in the third chakra. Where the first chakra is characterized as solid, the second chakra is liquid, feeling and sensory, and so it is called the river of life. It's where we get to feel our aliveness, own our power, understand our true needs and desires, and accept the more tender parts of ourselves. The sacral chakra is vital to our well-being, yet it's grossly misunderstood. It usually only gets credit for sexual and creative energy. Important? Yeah. All there is to sacral chakra? No, not at all. The second sacral chakra is the seat of all of our rising needs, the wants and desires that go beyond basic safety and survival, including the need to feel powerful, important, special, self-actualized, and celebrated for our gifts and talents. When second chakra energy is flowing, we know ourselves and what we want at any given moment because we feel ourselves, right? So that's kind of like the intro of what the sacral chakra is responsible for and where it is located in our bodies. So at the beginning of this chapter, the authors open the chapter with type of a scenario, I saw case study maybe, or something like that, right? And they make reference to, imagine this, a huge river, man-made, or maybe developed on its own and then taken over by men to kind of shape it up. And the banks or the walls of this river have been made up of pebbles, like little stones, and sandbags, right? To enable to what's not enable to keep the water from flowing into the village and destroying the houses. Right, that's the river, that's the picture that you have. And then move on to the village itself. You have the village dwellers there, thirsty like nothing. There has not been any rain in forever. Villagers are thirsty, some are dying of thirst, it's hot, and they lack energy, nothing much is happening. And then they say, now there's one of two things that can happen. The first is the villagers could remove the pebble stones strategically so that the water can flow into the villages, and then while flowing into the villages, channel it appropriately so that it gets to the right places and people in the village will get water. The village will not be destroyed. Second option is that they just sit there and they suffocate because they are afraid that if they even touch those pebble stones and sandbags, then the water will come flooding and it will just push everything out of the way and the village will be flooded and everyone uzochabalala. Now, based on or depending on your strong sacral chakra or weak one, weak, you'll probably say, Nkulunkulu, please make a plan, and you'll pray, our Father in heaven, please bring us. But if your second sacral chakra is strong, you're like, I know I can, then you're going to go take a chance and remove the purple stones one by one. And it. Now, moving on. Another part we need to. I liked the quotes they had on this chapter. I read it so quickly. I kept on jumping, off my chair. Anyway, so it says here. So the sacral chakra, as I said, it is about I want it and I can have it, right? It is about feeling like I have the right to happiness. It is about feeling I have the right to do what I can. I'm capable. I'm able. When your second chakra is healthy, there's nothing you can't see yourself doing. You will fail, but at having attempted it. You will have no inhibitions whatsoever about anything for that matter. You will not be faced by anything. The sacral chakra is about expression, right? Expression, it is when you are able to express your feeling. Anger, disappointment, want. Never. To clearly express that, and knowing that in expressing that there is vulnerability, there is actual truth, looking into yourself, and there is surrender. So in order to achieve these things, you need to be able to be vulnerable. You must know when to surrender, and you must know how to look at yourself truthfully in a mature manner, right? So in wanting or expressing a want, there is always, obviously you're not going to get everything that you want, especially how you want it or when you want it. And unfulfilled wants or needs tend to create resentment of some sort. And if, or shall we say if or when? Because the second sacral chakra takes from the root chakra, this is a tongue twister, takes from the root chakra, right? And the root chakra is fight, flight, or freeze. Depending where you are at that, you will have the voice to say, in fact, I want this. I want more attention. I want more time. I want to be treated with respect. I need boundaries. I need the basic human right, dignity, right? So you are able to express all of these things. And expression has many forms. But what they talk about mainly here is the expression of anger. That people most of the time go around they associate anger with shame. They associate anger with low class act, stratmate type of thing. And in this chapter, they actually saying it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be passionate about your anger. It's okay to express it in a mature manner. You should not suppress it, in fact. Because guess what? When you suppress it, you're going back to that clogged root chakra where you absorbed traumas. Maybe you stayed in a loud house, or there was chaos, and that traumatized you to shrink. Remember that passage where we read it? You shrink yourself, you cut your size down, you cut yourself down, and you become the person who's cooperative, who's supportive, who understands, laughs along with everything. But yet inside you are messed up. So now, fast forward, you are here and you need to express this because you have a healthy root chakra. So if at a time of anger, obviously anger does not just come unless there is something severely wrong with you. So at a time of anger, if you want to say, in fact, and you raise your voice, you're not throwing things. You're not taking out knives on people. You are not hitting tables or banging doors. But you are healthily expressing an injustice that has been done to you. At that moment, you are just thinking about saying what you feel has been done incorrectly to you. Imagine. It says, as unattractive as anger and neediness might sometimes appear to be, both of these energies are vital. Both are meant to fuel motivation, courage, action, and even charisma. Without them, we are incomplete. So we need to learn about their true power, break down the dam, and take them back. Right? They talk about hot stove movements. And hot stove movements, they call them hot stove movements. Is, you remember when, okay, adults like saying, umntwana uyamyeka xa ke funa uyehitheni abambe ungamane usiya kuyatshisa, they'll keep going back. You can't say it's hot, you're going to burn your hand, it's hot, you're going to let them go and touch so they can feel it themselves and know that we can't go there anymore. So that they vergelijk to when you're growing up and in the household that you are at, kuthiwa uyazigqatsa wena. Uyazigqatsa wena, usoloko uthanda ufuna ukuthi kwaziwe ukuthi you're the brightest, yakhumsha wena, you're the most beautiful wena, uzosibhora. Now you grow up with that thing yokuthi I can't fully express myself because I'm forward. I can't fully appreciate my beauty. Why? Kuthiwe ndizenza masibhotsana wabuthomile mushebe ukosipili. I can't fully become what I want to because kaloku sana, one day when you came back from school and you had this project that you did and you wanted to share it with your parents and they were like, okay. They didn't even want to understand what the project was about, the marks you had, trauma to you. So they call that the hot stove movement in your adult life. You self-sabotage. You know you are good at your job, but you want to stay in the background. You don't want to be in the forefront. Because unala trauma yokuthi ndiyazigqatsa, I'm forward. You can't speak up and say what you deserve based on what you bring to the table. Because kaloku, don't make a noise. Because kaloku, anger was associated with shame. When you threw a tantrum growing up, you were told, umntana does not act like that. You will wipe those tears, straighten your shirt, and you will sit up. Chin up and wipe those tears. trauma. You grew up with that. And now you are not even able to speak up for yourself, even when injustice is being done. Now you judge people who freely express their anger, who freely speak up about injustice that is being done towards them. To you, it's such shame, it's disrespect, because it has been built into you that that is what it is. When I grew up, just maybe an example, mna ndikhula kuthiwa ndifana notata. And as a young child, kaloku sana, if ndifana notata ndiyintombazane, ek is moeilijk heet lelik. All right? And as a result, I never really, for the longest of times, never really considered myself as pretty, as beautiful. I was just me. I never expected any compliment that came towards me about beauty, in fact. It made it worse. I had a partner who would like referring to all the girls whom he spoke to or either was in contact with or maybe had a relationship with or whatever as pretty girl. They were pretty girls. And that even more for me just said, okay, well, he never says I'm a pretty girl, so maybe this is his way of emphasizing to me that, in fact, when I'm going to favor. And also, Xhosas, kuyagezwa esiXhoseni. Umntana or when you see a lady that is like, yebo, bathi, yho, waze wafana notatakhe ke lo mntana. Kuthiwa hayibo, uyamazi utatakhe? Ya, ndimazi. Kodwa utatakhe umfana. Uyafana notatakhe. Now that says, J.S. Leonard. So it's those imposed feelings that you just trap inside of you, and you go about your life without even realizing that okay, I am sabotaging myself, I'm limiting myself, and I'm doing an injustice. It's worse because indlela esikhuliswa ngayo in society, especially if we take from my grandparents, a woman must grow up. Well, nowadays you can be educated, have a good job or career, get married. You must be somebody's someone. Someone's somebody or somebody's someone. Marriage in our society is an achievement. And if you don't do it within the years prescribed, you are late, you are bossy, you are too assertive, you are too independent, because you must belong to someone. Now, to fit into that status, society and upbringing, people tend to then have to bring themselves down in order to fit into this slide of being a wife, being a mother. And you forget completely about yourself. Whether you had dreams or desires. It's even worse, Kesana. Eminye imitshato, the bedroom is not so. And yet it's very important for the sacral chakra to be alive and fully developed when the bedroom is. That is why it is said that umfazi nje umbona benochuku kakhulu apha endlini akuchukele aqumbe ebetha kana izitya, just take her to the bedroom and andithi uzambona ngomso uzawubecula ekitshini naseshaweni xa ke kwenzela. It's said, kutshiwa. Remember, we are going according to ne kutshiwa. So the sacral chakra is the feeling of adequacy. It's the feeling of I can. You most find it's something that we all do. We all do that. Oh, but it makes me feel like I'm not enough. He makes me feel so inadequate. Hi, Nansika. Hi, Nansika. Nansika, hi. It is you, Sisi. Deal with yourself. Budwam, deal with yourself. It's not her, it's not him. It is you. Because you see, once you have worked on yourself and you have put in the work, you understand, no doubt, Uba, I can never not be enough. I can never not be inadequate. I might not be the adequate for you, but I am adequate nonetheless. Sikhona esinye isiciko sizawufanela lembiza yami. There will be a lead to this pot who is me. I might not be the right fit for you, but I am a lead. I am a pot nonetheless. It does not make me less of a pot. And that is what the sacral chakra is about. It is about I want, I know I deserve and I can get. No doubt. Now, let's see, where were we? There is another, I highlighted quite a few, right? Oh yes, here's another interesting one. It says the shame game, right? It says no parents are perfect. But if parents use shame or anger consistently as a consequence, it sends the message that you are bad. Instead of just correcting specific actions that are problematic, shaming always has the how dare you, genuine element, which conveys to a child that there is something wrong about the fact that they even tried to do whatever they did. Yaiva. Now it limits kids. Kids are not artistic. They don't explore. How dare? Because everything that you did that parents did not approve, or it might not be parents, the other tribes, you know, the tribes that we referred to in the root chakra, the first episode, the tribes. So if any tribe that you found yourself into associates any attempt, let's say at work, you use your initiative and thenga i-highlighters ezi-green bekade kuthengwa ezi-pink, and then your boss comes through and says, who told you can do that? No, but who gave you the right? I mean, really? Green? Why? Does it make sense to you? Now they are questioning the reasoning behind your action, limiting or making you to close in. How dare I even deserve? You then become your own critic, your own sabotage. How dare I even think? Mna ndingafikelela mhlawumbi ku-employee of the year? No, I didn't. And the more you keep telling yourself that, the more you sabotage yourself. It filters down into the home. You don't find the need or feel the need to even attempt, because in fact you need to keep proving this, how dare you think correct, because you are afraid to even attempt. I will attempt, and then how dare I even think I'd be able to achieve that? How dare I even think that I'd even be considered for this role? So you don't even start, you don't even attempt. Right? And then, so we're already into 30 minutes. So we're moving closer to the end, okay? And then there's another one named, or another topic within this named something missing. What makes natural impulses, desires, needs, and emotions interesting is that they serve a purpose. They are energy with a message. The second chakra is a big level of consciousness or awareness, and part of its job is to offer inner guidance. Being aware of what we need and feel is key to knowing ourselves and what will fulfill us. They say rising desires and needs and feelings of recreationary anger. That's another one, recreationary anger. Okay, we'll talk about that, right? Recreationary anger, it is, well, maybe it is anger that occurs in reaction to being wronged. The anger that, so, okay, I'm not going to talk about that one. So anyway, it's frustration, like expression of frustration, of grief. Examples of this pure life energy are supposed to inform and empower us. Every desire and impulse, as well as the strong feeling that comes with them, has something important to tell us about ourselves. Rather than accept these messages as guidance and part of who we are, we in this perfect world of ours try to disown and not feel them because it's associated with shame. You're disrespecting me when you're speaking to me and raising your voice. I'm not talking about a parent to a child. I'm not talking about a child to a parent, because of course we grow up, sisters go to, that's wrong. You can't raise your voice to your mom. You can't raise your, are you mad? Do you want to still live? But if you're partners in a household, if I'm angry, oh, so you felt it is okay for you to not inform me that you will not be coming home tonight. And you thought it's okay, it's completely fine to just slip out and not let me know, making me sleep without the alarm armed and the gate unlocked, putting us in danger. Now, but I'm angry. Hayi kaloku sana, ndifuna ukuthi in fact yintoni le uyenza, because ayenzi sense. Njani sana uzawungatsho ukuthi because kutheni? That is my expression. That is how I want. It's got nothing to do with disrespect. I'm not cursing. I'm not throwing things. I'm not stabbing. I'm not hitting tables. Not attacking. Healthy presentation of anger, a feeling of injustice that has happened against you. So they say, at our core, right? At our core, there is something unacceptable about us. If others found out how bad and broken we really were, they'd be shooketh and horrified. They would reject us. This is the insidious quality of shame, and it's what gives it staying power. So sonke siyoyika ukuthi, I don't want to be seen as the bad person. Don't want to be seen as selfish. Hayi mayingabi ndim okuthiwe ndim omlahlileyo. No, it can't be me who ended things, because then people are going to think I'm the bad one. And you stay in a toxic relationship, in a toxic environment, because you are afraid of the Batu Batlaring syndrome. What will people say? You don't want to be seen as that person who thought about yourself, put yourself first. Kanti when you have a healthy sacral chakra, you understand that if my need and my want is happiness, peace within, quiet, and where I am, it does not provide me such, then it means I need to move. Of course, you do the work first. You interrogate it. You don't become just a flat, I accept it. Okay, bye. You become an adult. You interrogate it first. You want to work through it first. But when you then realize that it's not going anywhere, it's not serving me anymore, it should be healthy and well within your rights to say, adios, amigos. This ain't happening. Goku, kutwa what start out as parental shaming turns into adult self-shaming. We judge an impulse as our parents did, and that stops us in our tracks from whatever we were about to do for fear of how it will look. We don't base our life around a family rule that said Tuesday was our night to wash the dishes, but we will be hyper vigilant about never being seen doing something so selfish and lazy. That one time we left the dishes until morning, and those unforgettable words hit us like a slap in the face. Because as adults, if we have a day where we feel like being selfish and lazy, we won't allow it. We push and push and push. But self-shame effectively keeps us cooperating, being helpful, not needing much, acting humble, apologizing, even for things that you need not apologize for, playing small and being obsessed with a fear of making mistakes. Self-shame ensures we act in a way so that no one is angered by us. No one disapproves of us, and no one can be disappointed in us. We shame ourselves into staying small. That way, and only that way, can we safely belong and thrive in the tribe. Kube worse ke ngoku sana self-shame when you grew up and you've always said, I never want to be like my dad. Or I never want to be like my mom, for that matter. Anything that associates you with, maybe your mom liked shouting. My mom liked shouting. But she doesn't shout anymore now. So anything that maybe now makes you or creates a need for you to shout, then you don't do it and you suppress it because sometimes andifanele mama andizukwazi. Not understanding that you're sabotaging yourself. Healthy expression of anger is an aid to a healthy second chakra. So it's okay to say, damn you. Is damn you cursing? I don't know. You know, it's okay to say, ngaqalwa kakubi, yintoni ngoku? Hayi sundiphambanisa. It's your expression. It's okay ukuzigqatsa and say, I am good at this, and accept praise for it as well. It's okay. Because you want it, you went for it, you worked for it, and you got it. And sometimes it's just your birthright. Sometimes you are just beautiful. And it's okay for you to feel yourself in yourself and say, hi man, uNkulunkulu waze wakhanda la. It's your birthright. It's fine. You don't need to be ashamed. Flaunt it. It makes you feel good. It is an asset to you. Hey, you are a bookworm. Bala. Funda. Wow, Tlamon. Always with books. Ha! Akondongama, jack of all trades. Yes, and master of them all. You must say that. Because it is your gift. Use it. Right? I think we are towards the don't. Yeah, but everyone has their kryptonite. I learned that word today, kryptonite. Being selfish used to be mine. That's the author now. All someone had to say to me was, you are being selfish. And whatever boundary I was trying to set was washed away instantly. My words failed me and my energy drained. I'd be so ashamed. I'd spend all my time proving I wasn't selfish, which usually meant acting like a doormat while people pleasing. Eva. It goes back now also to the first chakra, flight, fight, or freeze. Now this takes from the freeze automatic reaction. Just because kuthiwe ufuze uyihlo wena, ufuze uyihlo. Whatever boundary that you were meant to put in place. Mhlambi, you are being vergelijkt with your dad who was too strict, let's say. And now you are trying to put boundaries. You are trying to teach responsibility. And then somebody comes and says, but you are just like dad when. You are so like dad. And yet we all growing up, we knew that we didn't like what he used to do, but you are just like dad. Shoo. You shrink yourself. All of that goes out the window. Now, no more boundaries, no more lessons. It's like somebody saying to you, what's this English word? Unthoughtful. Inconsiderate. You are inconsiderate. Because you chose to do what needed to be done. You are so inconsiderate. Shaming you to a point where you feel like, hey, nyapap. I'm not talking about inconsiderate of locking someone out. No, that is inconsiderate. But I'm talking about inconsiderate of doing something, thinking that, but this is going to be for the betterment of us all. But because you didn't consult, you were inconsiderate. Because you made people feel lesser of themselves. And it is inadequate, not enough, worthless. You don't see me. All things that are actually a reflection of who you are, projecting it onto somebody else. You know that saying that says, if everything is okay with you, then everything is all right with the world. If you are happy, you will see happiness in the world. You are that somebody who's always saying, Nyangola, la rasa, man la rasa, hey, you are making a noise. The noise is inside of you. Quiet that noise. Go back and research what trauma you inherited that makes you have that automatic reaction, slighter sound of voice pitch. Don't raise your voice at me. You are disrespectful. La raza. Can't you be considerate for other people? The noise is inside of you. Quieten that noise. So, but it's important to see shame for what it is, or really is. Survival fear designed to stop you before you break family rules that are contrary to your natural built-in human needs, desires. and wants. The second chakra, emotion, needs, and impulses are incredibly strong. If they are not allowed to be conscious, they will find unconscious ways to come through. Sometimes this manifests as uncharacteristically acting out in ways that shooketh others. Yeva. Or losing it with anger or breaking down. Every second chakra impulse has a mature and an immature expression. Buried impulses are expressed immaturely. It's as if our empowerment energy were water coming through an active fire hose on the loose, swelling out of control with no firefighter to hold. The second chakra, unleashed as immature reaction, can be destructive. Like a bursting dam destroying a village, it can rage like a river through our system and drive compulsive behaviors and addictions that are impossible to control with logic or discipline, regardless of how smart or goal-orientated we are. They count drug addiction. They count compulsive shopping or gambling. And they count physical abuse. Those are all second chakra issues of excess need with no healthy expression or direction. So that containment, that anger containment, that anger restriction, I can only be angry in this particular way. If I'm angry in another way, then it's wrong. That containment of not being able to voice out injustices that are being done to you at the fear of being called selfish, self-centered, inconsiderate, which are the cryptotones, that word that I learned, which means it's like a magic word that kind of pushes you into stop, halt, because it is associated with shame. And that then leads you to lower yourself and make yourself smaller and just cooperate. So they say people who do that, people with unhealthy sacral chakras, normal fall into obsessive gambling, drug addictions, alcohol addiction, physical abuse, because of the suppressed angers, suppressed feelings of desire, suppressed feelings or expression of emotion, suppressed communication. And it comes out as an outlet in a form of abuse, drugs, alcohol, gambling. Right? So, this one made me laugh. One way of knowing whether our second chakra is blocked is to be aware of when we are acting from a place of emotional immaturity. Uyayazi mos xa sizenza njani and we see a friend posting on Facebook every day or WhatsApp, yes, postisha sana me today, or somebody uyatya thatha picture yokutya me tomorrow, meal for the day, or perfect cook, or dear future husband, prepare yourself for night, like somebody who posts each and everything that they do. And thina mos sizenza bhetere sawuthi yho akayithandi attention unantsika. Hey, I wonder uncwasebani. What this book says is that, in fact, that is immaturity. And that is a sign of an unhealthy sacral chakra. Because guess what? It works in the opposite. That you are noticing that somebody is in need of attention and you are swearing that you would never do that. I would never stoop that low. I would never put myself through that. You, this ends a low, this ends a cheap ganje. It means you actually are in need of attention. And now, shoop, projecting it on somebody else. Why? Because to you, it has been associated with shame. Why? Go back. First chakra, the root, the traumas from childhood, infancy. So ukuzigqatsa. Yo, I wouldn't put myself through that's so low. I wouldn't. Guess what? It is actually a sign of your sacral chakra saying you thirst. Uyayirhalela i-attention. Uyayinida. That you are noticing that somebody is doing things because of is what you are feeling. But you ever noticed that courage contains the word rage? The feeling most of us try to hide from. Rage, when properly channeled, becomes outrage. Then it becomes courage. Anger and rage are important empowerment emotions that have mature and immature expressions. When expressed maturely, anger gives us the fuel we need to right a wrong or set a boundary and the courage to take action. When expressed correctly or maturely, anger gives us the courage to set a boundary or express emotion or to right a wrong. Take action to right a wrong that has been done against us. Rage, outrage, courage. Underline that. Okay. All without losing control, so yes. So the trick to growing up is to own our anger and needs in every moment. And it is tricky, if only because many people would rather die than get mad or show weakness. I know a person or two. But when expressed maturely, anger and vulnerability are two of the most powerful emotions on the planet. Many people make conscious effort to never show anger. They are actively afraid and judgmental of people who are angry. I know sorry. Usually because they had an outwardly angry parent. They may never get overtly mad, but it usually surfaces as anxiety or depression. They are not aware that they have repressed angry feelings, and along with them, a piece of what makes them feel alive. When we do get angry, it's for one reason and one reason only. Something felt unfair, either to us or someone we love or empathize with. When something feels unfair, there's sure to be unmet need buried underneath. That energy rises and fills us with focus and increased energy to speak up, change something, or set boundaries. Anger is supposed to come up to reveal the hurt and give us the charge to make a change. Tears, grief, and hurt are supposed to surface so we can be lovingly held by others and ourselves and express what we've lost but still need. When this fuel rises up to the third chakra, we muster up the courage to take action. The second chakra then is a place of opposites. Every need expressed immaturely buries a true positive need. Every emotion expressed immaturely is telling us something hurts and is not fair. All these messages get to who we are at our core. When you look around, you see people who chopped up and denied aspects of their second chakra. We don't have time for that. Life is only truly lived when we feel fully alive in every waking moment. If you are denying your vulnerability, needs, ability to receive power, sensual experience of the world and other people, sexual energy, rage and anger energy, if you are denying any piece of that and saying, I'm not going to experience that, not okay, not acceptable. You are half alive. The diagnosis for that is what we call a walking ghost syndrome. People who aren't living through their second chakra are walking through life without feeling and without feeling alive. They chase stuff, achievements, or sexual partners to feel alive. They chase in the outside world what they want to feel in the inside. And that is the sacral chakra. I hope you enjoyed. It was lengthy, ne? It was lengthy. It was a very long chapter, but it was exciting. I read it so quick. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it makes sense to you, and I hope it touches someone somewhere. Thank you for listening. Our next one is the oh wait, okay, so I wanted to tell you that so we did the sacral chakra. Our next one is the solar plexus, right? The next one is the solar plexus. I wonder if you realized, well, yeah, how, I don't know if we're going through an evolution. Oh, at first it was this hype of uktwasa, and everyone was twassing all around the corner. It was the awakening. It was introducing ancestral and our healings, and it was making it known, and it was the awakening. And now what's prevalent is mental health. It is understanding yourself, right? We are curious to want to know what's happening in our bodies. Why are we wired like this? Why are we doing things like this? What? I think we're going through an evolution. And what drew me again to this book is that normally in spirituality, right, you have your third eye, your throat chakra, your crown, right, and your heart. Those are the ones that are spiritual, and those are the ones that we mainly concentrate on, because you have to see visions, see beyond, be able to translate, and also feelings, vibrations, and all of that. And now here they are starting with the bottom chakras, which are your root, sacral, solar plexus, I think. Because in fact, we've been missing that. In order for these top ones to work properly, you need to have had a solid foundation. And that is why you find that sometimes abantu bahamba bayothwasa akwenzeki, because there are deeply rooted traumas that were never addressed, that they are still living through and continuing to do in the today world, because they haven't gone back to heal that inner child. They haven't gone back to look at that young adult who was told that, how dare you? And now you want to dare and be a healer? What the cheeseburger is that? In fact, there's something that I had highlighted there, and I forgot to maybe just quickly in closing. The chakras are divided into upper and lower halves, with the heart chakra, the seat of wisdom, in the middle. The upper chakras, which is the crown, third eye, and the throat, those are the sources of creativity and inspiration and enlightenment, because they are spiritual in nature. They have always been somewhat glorified in the pursuit of higher consciousness. The lower chakras, solar plexus, sacral, and the root, are the basis of our power and responsible for how safe we feel to express our authentic selves in this world. They offer what I call empowerment energy. Okay, guys, it's been a whole hour. Sure. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I think I'll see you again. Yeah, before I load another video, I'm going to take some time and process this. So in this book, that's why I'm asking everyone. In fact, what's the word? I lost the English word. The data is depleted. But for everyone to go and find it, because after each chakra lesson, they go into ways of healing, like meditation, tapping, visualization, going back to a time, using different scenarios. So yeah, I'm going to take some time and go through those healings that are part of the book. And it will be a little while before I load another video on the solar plexus. I don't know. Maybe I could have an interview in between if there's an interesting topic that comes up. Maybe I will. But until then, adios, amigos, cheerios, bye, sanbonani, no, goeienaand, good night, thokozani, Kamako.